Here's a training recap. So, lower body session, and I do have shin guards on my shins. This is a kind of a strange leg curl machine where the rest goes across your shins rather than your lap. So, I use these shin guards to make sure that my shins aren't beat up, one, and it just makes it just overall a more enjoyable experience and a flatter surface rather than being dipped in there on that cushion. But 2 sets, close to failure, keeping intensity high. I've been able to maintain the weight on these pretty easily as opposed to the bigger lifts. So this is a good, for me at least, an indicator that I am still hanging on to the muscle that's there. When it comes to these RDLs, this is a little bit of a newer movement. I've kind of switched the focus from my quads, because it is a stronger body part, to mostly glutes as I'm kind of finishing out this prep season. So I still have some quad dominant movements, but I am I switched one leg press variation to a more glute focus that you'll see a little bit later in this video. But I'm working my weight up on the weights from these and really just trying to focus on driving my hips and staying as tight on my glutes as possible, which is why I'm moving slow and controlled and using a lower weight so I can make sure and minimize any other kind of helper muscles. And I can just dial in on my glutes. I do feel a little bit more connection to my glutes in RDLs versus the hip thrust machine, but I'm still trying to master that movement. It is a tricky one for myself, which is probably why my glutes are underdeveloped in the first place. So, or at least compared to the rest of my physique. So you'll see here, pretty much taking it to failure or right before. I don't think you can see my legs shaking, but towards the end of this set, they certainly were. And I'm just trying to drive tension through my heels as much as possible to stay on those glutes. And yeah, I mean, it was a it was a good last set, I'll say the least. So next up, back to leg extension, and here we have I go unilateral, and the reason why is because my left quad is more dominant than my right. Although I am right-handed, I'm left-footed. So I try and match the reps on my right side, or not match, but I go as much as I possibly can on my right side, and then I already know I'm going to be able to match it on my left. So that's in order to help my lagging body part catch up to my better one. Outside of that, leg extension, I like to get a little bit of a warm up, which is why it's placed later in the exercise order. So it's not completely fresh on the knees. And here is the variation that I was sticking with on the quads, which I still get quad activation doing this. But if you saw my last video where I was cueing on the foot placement to hit the glutes a little bit more, that's what I'm using here. So I'm really just driving through my heels, keeping my foot in that crease on the sled platform, and trying to just, keep everything as tight as possible on the glutes. That is the purpose, driving my knees out. And again, weight dropped a little bit on this from my normal leg press, but again, I'm just acclimating to this variation. So I believe that it's going to be back to where I was with a more quad dominant lower foot placement on the platform. The one thing that I didn't film were calf raises. I usually do those on the hack or on the leg press. Just forgot to film them. But that's it. Hopefully you guys got something out of it, and love the support. Thanks. Have a great day.